MD and Managing Director, Aayushcare Ayurveda Wellness Clinic.
Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. Salutations to all the dignitaries. Good evening. Good evening. Can I get a louder good evening, please? Good evening. Thank you. So we are here to share thoughts on opportunities about entrepreneurships and startups. Entrepreneurship, the term entrepreneurship sounds very much like a Sanskrit term called as Entreprerana. Entreprerana means inner inspiration or inner motivation. As Ajay was mentioning about the challenges and opportunities, we have immense of opportunities and we have immense of challenges when it comes to Ayurveda. Introducing myself, I am Dr. Alex Kurian, nowhere an Ayurvedic doctor, but a homeopathic physician who has started entrepreneurship in Ayurveda since a few years. And I have been into training, coaching and mentoring of Ayurveda doctors since about a couple of years. And I am deeply indebted for CAA for this opportunity to share my thoughts here. So Ayurveda, when we see, it has products and it has services. I am just broadly categorizing two things which Ayurveda can bring in. So we have products, but are we thinking of productizing our service? And we have services, or are we thinking of servicing our products? What do you mean by productizing our service? When it comes to doctors, when it comes to medical practitioners in Ayurveda, we always think of running a clinic, whether it is profitable, whether it is virtuous, or whether it is revenue generating, whatever. We are taught in BMS and we are taught in MD courses that we have to run a clinic and whatever we do, we have to serve the patient. There is a triad called as Tattva, Shastra and what else? What is Tattva, Shastra and Vyavahara. So nobody in the medical fraternity, I don't mean nobody, but at least many of us are not focusing on this Vyavahara part of it. We are all virtuous doctors, we all want to be virtuous and service oriented, and we finally end up with no good quality of life. And really proud to say that we have such a beautiful system where we can servicize our products. Panel members were explaining a lot more on products when it comes to organic farming, where it comes to cosmetic products, where it comes to wellness products. We have a wide range of things which can be done in the products market also. When it comes to the service part of it, wellness centers and resorts, we have a lot of it. But there are still openings and there are still chances of a lot more of resorts and openings in this Ayurveda field. When it comes to integrative health tourism, I can vouch on the fact that we as homeopathic doctors or we as other Ayush system doctors, we can bring in patients from other countries to India for health tourism, but we can't afford to have a facility like you people are having in Ayurveda. So why don't we integrate? We can bring in patients from US and Africa and Germany for homeopathic treatment, maybe for yoga treatment or whatever Ayush treatment is offering. But we don't have the facility and you guys have the facility. So why don't we think of an integrated health tourism sector as we call it as productizing our services rather than running a clinic or a hospital which is only focused on Ayurveda. When it comes to products, I would like to mention also about high quality, innovative and authentic Ayurvedic products. My fellow partner here in the chair was mentioning about the which we have to own as an Ayurvedic doctor, which we have to disown. Also about herbal source farming also, it is very important in case of servicing your products. I have often spoken to or I have been discussing Ayurveda or the entrepreneurship part of it or the startup part of it with a lot of Ayurvedic doctors recently. And I've seen that many of the people are not aware of the billion-dollar business Ayurveda is generating across the globe. I'm not going into the details of such data because you all are very much aware of such statistics, which is even forecasted to reach about $26 billion by the year 2022. And you can see here the countries. We thought or we generally think that India is the greatest market for Ayurveda or the related businesses or entrepreneurship startups to work upon. I'm not even touching the tech part of it. I'm just focusing on the product and service part of it. You can see here the statistics shows that North America is the leading consumer of Ayurvedic products along with the other herbal products across the globe. And we have the 3 U's, that is the North Europe, UAE and the US market is called the 3U market when it comes to Ayurveda. And here is another graph where the medical care or the products or the medical care medicines or the therapeutic products are a bit of a smaller, if you see the left hand side, it is a bit of a smaller graph where we see the personal care stuff or the cosmetic stuff have the larger graph of it. But I would explain this in another dimension where on the right side we see an immense potential or the opportunity, and the left hand side we see an immense gap. There is another opportunity for the pharma people to jump in with startups and entrepreneurship. So we usually have a breakdown maintenance system where we go with the therapeutic part of it, where we go to the treatment part of it, but why don't we start thinking on a preventive part of it, where the wellness is focused, where only Ayurveda or only Ayush systems can vouch on such kind of preventive maintenance repair work on the human body, even on the human soul. So when I come with two aspects of physician and startup-preneur, I'll just take 2 more minutes. I'll wind up before somebody shoots me. So physician and startup entrepreneur, this has to go hand in hand. One is in the heart and one is in the brain. As I call it, the tattva and the vyavahara. So the brain always thinks of how to make revenue, how to build an entrepreneurship out of it, how to not to be self-employed. But a doctor, as a physician, we always think that we have to be virtuous, we have to be service-minded, and we don't generate revenue out of it. So it has to be a balanced kind of a thing when you have to go with the Ayurveda kind of state. As we think of entrepreneurship, these are some of the points. If we join this heart and brain, if we join this startup entrepreneurship with the medical facilities we have, if we join the products and the services part, if we join hands with doctors and the entrepreneurship, we can bring in more impact, we can have a global reach, we can have an innovative activities going across the globe and bringing on financial stability not only to the business people who have invested in Ayurveda, but also to those medical doctors who are interested or who has given their life and breath and blood to the cause of Ayurveda, and thereby preserving the traditions of Ayurveda. We always proudly say, I am sure that the whole crowd who is sitting here will always say that my dad used to use Ayurveda, even I use Ayurveda. But that is not the question. The question in the future is whether your child will use Ayurveda. That is the Gen Z. Whether Gen Z will use Ayurveda is a big $1 million question we have in front of us. It has to be raw and it has to be capped if the Gen Z has to use it. Raw in the sense it has to be relevant for them. Is our Ayurveda at present relevant for the next gen? Is our Ayurveda attractive for the next gen? Is our Ayurveda worthy enough for an Instagram post or a social media share? And is our Ayurveda contemporary? Are we running with the times or are we running ahead of times? Are we adapting the future technologies to our system, to the old traditions, to the old wisdom we have in hand? And are we palatable? We know we are way beyond or we are way ahead. So this is the question I want to put before this Global Ayurveda Summit. Let this be a beginning so that let us come together with the heart and soul so that the brain part of the entrepreneurship and the heart part of physician wisdom join together and the Ayurveda becomes the answer for one earth, one health and for the one world. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aayushcare. That was a good presentation from your side.